It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hi, and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your host, Uncle Roy, and this is my lovely assistant, Miss Callie. Say hello, Callie. Come here. Give her a tweet. Yeah. Say hello, say hello, hello. She's so cute. This is going to be our special edition for our Thanksgiving show, and we hope that you and your family have a wonderful Thanksgiving as much as we will. And we're going to be making a turkey today. You know, everybody has their own way of making turkeys, and there's 1,001 ways. Well, today's show, we're going to be doing a lot of Thanksgiving treats for you, so we want to get to work right away. So first of all, for our turkey. Now, there's many different ways of doing a turkey, and it all depends on how many people you're going to feed. Some people like to get the big 20-pound turkey. Well, let me tell you, it's a pain in the rear end. What you want to do then, if you're going to have a lot of people, get two 10-pound turkeys. They cook quicker, and it takes up less space in your refrigerator then too when you have your leftovers. What we're going to do first though is get the roaster pan. Now I got the regular kind of roaster, but mine was too small for my bird. I'm just doing a 10-pound bird. So I got these tin roasters at the dollar store. But notice I am getting two roasters to help put these together to make it a little sturdier. If you use just one, when you go to pick it up, it's going to bend right in half. And you don't want to pick it up because it will bend in half, and you'll have hot grease and oil and stock everywhere, all over the place. So you want to place it on top of a baking sheet. Now this is the ones that I don't use for baking because of that side edges all the way around. So it's perfect. I still hang on to them though for things like this, or for candy making or whatever. But this is going to hold that roasting pan together, keep it from bending, because these things are very flimsy. But you want to take and spray it first. And with your turkey, you want to make sure that it is thawed out. And how do you thaw out the turkey? Well, the best thing to do, because of sanitation reasons, you want to keep it in a pan. A roasting pan is fine, just so you don't get blood all over your refrigerator. And stick this on the bottom shelf of your refrigerator where you have more room. And you want to keep that in the refrigerator for at least 2 to 3 days for it to thaw out completely. Now, if you're in a hurry, what you can do the night before, so say Wednesday night, take your turkey, stick it in the bathtub or in the sink, fill it with cold water, and it should be thawed out by the morning when you wake up. Now, like I said, it all depends on the size of bird you get. You want to generally figure generally about 15 minutes per pound. So if you have a 10-pound bird, that's about 2.5 hours of baking. So if you get a 20-pound bird, well, you're going to be there, you know, all day long. That's why Grandma used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to start Thanksgiving dinner. So that's why you get two 10-pound birds, and you don't have to sit there and let it bake all day long. Makes sense, don't it? So what we're going to do is take our turkey and make sure you rinse it off completely. And what we're going to do, this is so simple to do a turkey. I don't know why people have a problem with it. It is so easy. What we're going to do is just take kosher salt. Of course, that's what I always use anyway, is kosher. And we're going to take and just rub it all around the bird, everywhere, inside and out. Just take and rub that out. Now I removed the giblets. We make sure you take those giblets out of the turkey's neck there. You don't want to bake those. You can if you want to. Sometimes I just leave the whole bag in there, especially if it's a paper bag and I forget about them. It's going to add flavor to the stock. So don't worry if you leave it in there. It ain't going to kill anything. It's not going to hurt anybody. It'll be just fine. Because I don't like to use the giblets for my gravy anyway. Who wants to bite into a gravy with all these chunks of crap in there? I don't like that. It just, because that giblets is gizzards and the hearts and the guts from the turkey, and the heart is rock. I don't want to bite into that in a gravy. Ish. Now see, I got to put that giblets in the gravy. Well, what the heck for? You do not. In fact, I throw my giblets away. But like I said, if you want to, you can leave them in the turkey. It ain't going to hurt anything, and they do add a good flavor to the stock. In fact, let me just double check here. Make sure I did pull them out. Yeah, I did. I got them in the, these ones here came in the plastic bags, and they're halfway sticking out of the neck. So then I took and put pepper on there and rubbed that in too. So I got salt and pepper, that's all you need. Now, what I'm also going to do is just take a couple of carrots, break them in half, throw those in the pot. I'm not even peeling them. I got an onion, peels and all, cut in half just so the juices and the flavor can get through. Shove that in there. I got my celery, the butt end of the celery. Throw that in there. And then the tops on the celery. And the heart from the inside of the celery. Throw that in there. All that stuff goes in there. Because what we're going to be doing is when we fill this with water, this is going to make a great stock. Now just make sure you tuck your wingtips underneath the back of the turkey. That just helps to hold together. And now we're going to take and put water into this. This is just so simple. When I was working at a halfway house, I had to take and do turkeys on our menu every other Sunday. And so when you feed a lot of people, I had 2 25-pound turkeys. I had huge turkeys. But I had a huge roasting pan too. But I used to do this all the time. And it's like when you cook for the people, it doesn't, you don't have to get all that technical about it. It's not hard. It is so simple. Everybody has to throw a big fit and get all like stressed out, and you don't want your holiday to be stressed out. You want it to be stress-free if you can do it. The family's going to stress you out enough. The kids, the in-laws, everybody. They're all coming home for Thanksgiving. You don't want them screaming and hollering, blah, blah. That's enough. You don't want that to bother you while you're cooking. That's the last thing you want to do is worry about your cooking. So I got the pot, the roaster in here. You fill up about halfway full of water. You got all your vegetables in there. The butts, the ends, the peels, everything. It's going to give it a rich flavor. And this juice is what we're going to use to make our gravy with. And so we got the oven heated up at 350 degrees. And I'm going to get out my aluminum foil here. And then we'll just take and cover this bird up. Now, we'll let this bake for about 2.5 hours. I remember it used to be ½ hour per pound. That was the general rule for turkeys. Well, wonder why your turkey's dry? Hello! You don't need to have a dry turkey. We're going to cover this up. This is going to seal in all the water and the juices of the turkey. That's another reason it dries, if you don't cover it. And all the steam and juices escape into the air, and you got the hot heat on the bird itself, it's going to dry out. Of course it is. Makes sense, don't it? But this, I've ended up with juicy birds. In fact, I take and stick this in the oven if you want to. At night before you go to bed at 10 o'clock, say, to have it done in the morning, put it on 250 and just let it sit like this all night long. You wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock or so, take it out of the oven, it's done. All you have to do is pull out your turkey, drain off your juices for your gravy, strain that, same thing. But we're doing this for the day, so it's only going to take about 2.5 hours, so it doesn't matter. Throw this in the oven now, and we're keeping it covered, keep the juices in. About the last, say 20 minutes, you can take the foil off and let it bake, and that'll brown the skin really well. So, you know, if you want to serve the whole turkey at the table, that's just a big showpiece. You don't have to put the whole turkey on the table. It takes up so much room. You don't have room for any of your side dishes or the company or guests. Everybody's cluttering around the table. Where's the plates? You don't have room for anything. What I like to do is I'll take my turkey and just take everything off the bone. Just debone the whole turkey and put the white meat on one platter, the dark meat on another platter. And then people can help themselves. It's already cut up. Just pass it around. It's so much simpler, so much easier. You don't have to sit there, and Dad doesn't have to be there with the big old knife and turkey and carving it up and cutting himself and everybody else around him, and everybody's arguing about what piece to take. You just debone the whole thing. Put it on 2 separate plates, white and dark, pass the plates around. Boom, there you go. Very simple. So we'll just throw this in the oven and we'll check it in about 2.5 hours and see what it looks like. Now we're going to take and make an orange ginger cranberry relish. Does that sound good, Callie? Yeah. She's on the couch. Daytime, nap times. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, we got fresh cranberries here. These are fresh whole cranberries. A friend of mine, her and her partner went to Wisconsin a couple weekends ago to the cranberry festival, and she brought me back some fresh whole cranberries. I'm like, ooh, wow, what a treat. I'll make a great relish, and of course I'll share with her. And what we have here is 4 cups of fresh cranberries, and on the stove I got water boiling, 2 cups of water, 4 cups of berries. And we'll let this water come to a boil, and when it does, we're going to be adding our cranberries to that. We're also going to take and I need 2 teaspoons of fresh orange zest, which is the peel of the orange. Now some people used to take the peel and peel it off the orange with a vegetable peeler, and then they take and they dice that up or throw it in the food processor, which you can do, that's no problem. It just takes a little longer though. But what we're going to do is just take your grater, and the little small holes at the end of the grater, use that for hard Parmesan cheese. It's also used excellent for your zesting. Oranges, limes, lemons, whatever. Whenever it calls for that in the recipe, it always adds a great, huge flavor to it. You can put in as little or as much as you want to. Now let me check that water. Just about, not quite. And the other ingredient is we're going to put in some ginger. Now I got candied ginger. This here, in this can, this is kind of expensive. And this here is like $5 for the can. I bought this at, what was it, Sonoma? I think we got Sonoma, downtown Minneapolis when it used to be there. That was years ago. That's getting kind of old. But you can also buy the candied ginger at your local grocery store. Check in the Mexican foods section. They have all these different spices in wrappers in clear plastic bags and stuff. I know Thrift Way here in Crystal has a little section of Mexican spices, and they have the little packages of crystallized ginger, and it's really cheap because they use it a lot in their baking, and it's really good. It's just like candy is what it's like, but it's regular ginger root that's been crystallized and sugared. It's really good. So what we're going to do is put in we have the orange zest, candied ginger, and the cranberries. And we'll just wait for this water to come to boil before we add the cranberries. And then when we do, we'll let the cranberries boil for about 3 to 5 minutes or until they all split and start popping. When they're done popping, then they're ready for the other ingredients. And we're also going to be using 2 cups of sugar too. So we'll just wait for this to boil, and we'll boil down the cranberries, and then we'll add the other ingredients. Okay, now this came to a boil when I poured in the cranberries a while ago, and they all broke it up, skins popped open, and they're cooking just fine. Now we're adding the 2 cups of white sugar, a tablespoon of the candied ginger, and a tablespoon of the orange zest. And we'll bring this mixture all together, mix this up, and I'll wait for this to come back to a rolling boil, and then we'll turn it to a simmer and let it boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. This is going to be really good, galleys. Oh, the smell of that is just, this is Thanksgiving. The smell of this alone airs up the whole house. Oh, it is just a beautiful scent. You got the cranberries, the ginger, and the orange zest. Just, oh, it smells so good. This would be a great potpourri to have. So we'll just let this come to a boil. And once it does, we'll let it turn it to a simmer, let it boil for like 3 to 5 minutes uncovered because we want it to thicken up. And then our relish will be ready. See, it's a nice thicker sauce right now, but when this chills off, we'll put this in the refrigerator and cover that up. And if you want to, you can make this the night before too. And I just did this now because by the time the turkey's done, this will be all ready too and be all chilled and nice and thick. And that'll be a great orange ginger cranberry relish. Okay, now we're going to make another side dish. This is going to be my family's favorite scalloped corn. And this is a very simple one to do too. What I have here is half a green pepper. And we're just going to take and dice this up into tiny little pieces. You don't have to mince it, but just into bite-sized pieces. This was one of my family's favorites for years. Oh, Mom always made this one, and us kids loved it. So we have our green pepper, and then I've got one small onion here. And we don't need all of it, just half of it is fine. So dice this up also into small pieces. Throw that in there. Like I said, this is all so easy. Then we're going to put in 6 eggs, and we just take and mix this together. And then of course a little salt and pepper. Then we're going to put in 2 cans of cream-style corn. Now we just mix this all together, and then spray your casserole dish. And just pour that in. Now this is going to get fluffy like an omelet, so you want to make sure to leave yourself a good ½ inch to 1 inch surface top on the top there, because you don't want it to overflow in the oven. And this we're going to bake in the oven, about a ½ hour, 45 minutes, or until you stick a butter knife in there and it comes out clean like you would a pumpkin pie. And we're going to put this in towards the end of the baking of the turkey, so all the timing of everything comes around just done at the same time, no problem. So that's very simple. Now with this you can put on crushed cracker crumbs if you want. Mom used to do that, and she would always put like a couple strips of bacon on that too and bake it in with it. So this is a wonderful dish. Okay, Callie, the turkey's done. Oh my Lord, is that ever pretty? But it did turn out to be, like Mom said, ½ hour per pound, because it's now 5 o'clock. Put it in at 12, so that's 5 hours for 10-pound bird. So this is a ½ hour per pound. It's meat thermometer. You want it done at least 180 degrees. Now, so I stuck in the thermometer and was slightly above that. So you know, if you're going above 180, that's when you're going to start drying out. I could have came out about a ½ hour earlier. But it's nice and golden brown on the outside. I'll get a close-up so you can see what that looks like. There, and that's our turkey. Isn't that pretty, Callie? Now we gotta make gravy and mashed potatoes. Yeah. Okay, and this is our turkey. Oh, that looks pretty. Look at her. She's helping now because there's samples. Oh, she can't wait. She's waiting for the turkey to fall. No, you're gonna get that turkey. No, you're not. No, no, no. My luck, it'll fall and she will get it. Now we're going to make gravy. Took the colander and poured off all the juice. That's the stock in the bottom of the roasting pan into this kettle. So what I got going here now is I just melted a stick of butter. So that's a ½ cup. We're going to be making our gravy here. And it is so simple to make. Everybody has problems with their gravy, but it's not hard. It's very easy to make gravy. All we got is the butter melting, and we're going to add flour to that. So you want to make a roux, and the roux is just flour and butter mixed together. Now this is where you get the problems about getting lumps in your gravy, because you made too heavy of a roux. It got too dry when you made it. You want your roux to be more like a thick paste, like a cream of wheat almost. So you want to make sure your butter's all melted. Let that get hot. And then we just add our flour to that. And just keep stirring it. Adding a little bit more. And that's just the consistency I want. So for ½ cup of butter melted, I added about 3/4 cup of flour. Now just make sure you always stir that so it doesn't burn. Then we take and we add our hot stock to this. Now make sure this is hot when you're adding it, because cold isn't going to mix in with your flour and butter. And just add a little bit of that, and then it thickens up right away. So you just need to add more until you get the consistency that you need. Now this is another one of my recipes where things aren't really measured out, it's just by sight. Because even that small amount is going to make a lot of gravy, and I don't need to eat all that gravy. But with any leftover gravy, I can always save it and use it for, I can thin it out to make cream soups. We can make a cream of turkey soup out of it, mix the stock up with the gravy. You can use the gravy and add, when it's thin it out a little bit, add some mixed vegetables in your diced turkey, and then you got cream turkey, and you can add some diced green pepper or onion, and you got turkey a la king, and that's excellent over biscuits or homemade biscuits. I like the biscuits, those taste really good. Or you can make your own homemade rolls too, whatever you prefer. And that's a little on the thicker side, so you just keep adding until you get it to the right consistency that you're looking for. And there's no lumps in this at all, absolutely none. And that's because you wanted that roux not to be dry. That's just the flour and butter. People get it too dry and crumbly, and then they add their stocks to it and stuff, and you get all those little crumbly crumbs, all your lumps, and you don't want that. You just want a nice smooth gravy. This is just perfectly smooth. It's just like a thick soup. And I could turn that down because that's off there, because once it boiled, it's done. You don't need to keep on boiling it and trying to reduce it, because if you're trying to reduce it, you got too much liquid in there. So it's going to be just fine. And so what I'm going to do next is, just for flavor, I'm going to add a little bit of chicken base. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon. There's plenty of flavor in that turkey already. That base is just fabulous. So I don't need to take and throw in a lot. I'm just putting in about a teaspoon. I basically want this to perk up the flavor. The yellow is going to give it just a little tinge of color, not too much, because it's a turkey gravy, it's not chicken gravy, so we don't want it real yellow. You want it on a tan or beige side. But that's going to add salt to it too, because remember, I only put salt and pepper on the turkey, and the stock, I didn't add any other seasonings in there. So I just want this to be a little bit of salt in there. Oh, that ever rich. Whoa. See those vegetables, when you put the vegetables in there, it adds a huge amount of flavor to your liquid, to your stock. And then that's our gravy. So all you need to do is make mashed potatoes and we're ready. So now we're going to serve up everything here. Taking off a leg. I'm making up at the Gulkin plate for my neighbor next door. Oh, happy Thanksgiving, Callie! Yeah! Yes, we got a leg, scalloped corn. Oh, that gravy looks delicious, Callie. She's just drooling. Oh, just a dripping. Oh, the poor girl. And we want, I'm sure we probably want some white meat too. Do you think, Callie? And there's our lovely turkey dinner. Isn't that pretty, Callie? We got the turkey in the back there. There's on the left is the breast. And we also, here's the breast and the turkey leg. And this is our scalloped corn. It's like a souffle. It's very delicious. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh, and we almost forgot the cranberries. Yeah, here's the cranberry relish. The orange and ginger cranberry relish. Oh, is that ever pretty. Look at Callie. We should be in a Better Home and Garden magazine. Ah, a pretty picture. And of course, right next to us, Miss Callie Alley. She's just waiting for it to fall down. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show. now Callie and I got to answer the mail from you, the viewers. If you want to ask us a question on gardening or cooking or anything pertaining to the show, feel free to write us at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com. And Callie and I will try and get back to you as best as we possibly can. Let's see who wrote us this week, Callie.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Quiet all the time. Over here. She gets a treat when we answer the mail. Over here. Over here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, oh, vicious. Ooh. Let's see who wrote us, Callie. Yeah. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, I have bananas that I want to take and ripen quickly to make banana bread. I bought them at the store and they were solid green. How do I get them to ripe quicker? Signed, Alice of Golden Valley, Minnesota. Well, thanks, Alice. Oh, very easily. You can tell I got my bananas here and they are ripe. They're ready to make banana bread out of right away. Sometimes you can't find them that ripe in the stores and they don't sell them that way either. They usually get rid of them if they start to spoil. But the quickest way, if you have greener bananas and you want them to ripen up quickly, put them in a paper bag and stick it in an apple. There's a methane gas that comes off from the apple, a gas that comes off, that takes and ripens up your fruit quicker. So even if you have your fruit sitting in a bowl on your table or something and you got apples in there with your bananas and other fresh fruit, the gas from that apple is going to make it ripen quickly. So you better be careful with that one too. You want to keep the apples separate. But if you want them to ripen quicker, just throw the apples in a paper bag with your bananas and like within a day or two they'll start aging very fast. We hope you can, that helps you out there, Alice. Thank you for writing in, and you too can write in too and ask us any questions. So feel free at the Northwoods Cooking Show at yahoo.com. But not to fret, because Callie and I will be here again next week to show you again. So remember to stay tuned for our show, the Northwoods Cooking Show. We're on every week at this time. And from Miss Callie and I, come here, Callie, sit pretty, come here. We want to say happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Eat healthy, be safe, and spread the sunshine. Here, Callie, say goodbye. Come on, sit pretty. Say goodbyes. Yeah.